Wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, though ye know them, and be established in the present truth.
Right now, we got people who show up in the church and we say abomination, and we call everything an abomination in the church when there are abominations taking place in our homes. Out of order. The Bible says, let all things be done decently and in order. How in the world can we go to people and say, get your act right, get these bad books and bad programs, and get all these things out of the church? And here it is that our own homes are just as wicked and sinful and houses of abominations. We get mad at the church. We say, you're not doing what God says. You're not doing what God says. And we beat the church up real strong for that. But at the same time, I wonder if Jesus, well, he is. Brothers and sisters, what if Jesus dealt with us the way we deal with the church when we see abominations? What would happen if Christ were to look in our homes and say, all right, since you want to bring judgments on the church, let me bring judgments to your home. I submit unto you, it is not that we cannot call out abominations in the church. That's not my point. But I believe if we can learn to do it right in the home, we'll know better how to do it right in the church. That's all I'm saying. And the problem is that there is apostasy in our homes, brothers and sisters. And you and I need to deal with those apostasies before we start trying to deal with other apostasies. That's all I'm saying. God says we need to pay attention, saints. I want you to think about this. Oh my, we're going to study. This is it. I've been waiting to get to this point. I'm serious, I've been waiting. You see, we don't understand. When God made Adam and Eve in that garden was more than a garden. When we think of a garden today, we think of a place of visitation. But when you think of the Garden of Eden for Adam and Eve, it was their home. It was where they worked. It was where they played. It was where they studied. You remember they were in the garden in the cool of the day to meet with God. That's where they studied with God. They would go into the garden. That's where they would work the soil and they would work together. The reason I bring this up is because God says that his plan, it was God's plan for the members of the family to be associated in work and study, in worship and recreation. That was God's plan. It says the father as priest of his household and both father and mother as teachers and companions of their children. That's what God's plan was. He says when I put the family together, God said I wanted the family to work, to study, to have recreation, and to worship together. God said this is all the things that I wanted the family structure to be. Do you know how many families don't even know of these experiences today? There are very few fathers that know how to have recreation with their children. Very few fathers. You go to, and I'm not talking about the homes where there is no father. I'm talking about homes where there are fathers. There are very few fathers that know how to go outside and be a child with their children and spend time with them. And then we wonder why our children get estranged. They no longer want to be around dad because dad makes it at least seem like he doesn't want to be around them. And then next thing you know, they go find other people that appear to want to be around them. And next thing you know, those other people, if they're under the ordination of Satan, the next thing you know, our children become the servants of Satan.
Brothers and sisters, God has given each and every one of us a gift, a talent. Are we to ask somebody, can we exercise that talent? The answer is no. God has given it to you. You need to exercise it. Why are we waiting for somebody to tell us we can do this? I don't understand. If we was waiting for somebody to give us approval to do this, do you think it would be happening? It would not be happening, saints. So it's time to move forward.